Akame got killed episode 1 is here. I've been waiting a long time to watch this episode and for this anime to arrive, and now's the time to give my first impression, review, reaction to episode 1. So for the most part, this episode covered the entirety of chapter 1, if I can recall, because I haven't really read much of the manga. I've read like 1 or 2 chapters, so for the most part, it covered all of chapter 1 within one episode. Now, to be honest with you, this anime, coming into it, I was hoping for like, 10 out of 10 status, and to that degree, I guess my expectations were let down because, first of all, let's talk about the art and animation. The art and animation, especially for the episode 1 premiere, was definitely let down. I believe this is handled by Studio White Fox, which I was hoping that they would bring their A game, but I don't know if it's because Akame is a smaller IP than some of the other titles that they've had in the past or something, because coming into this one, the art was very simplistic. And again, I'm comparing it to some of the stuff I've seen this season. The art was very simplistic, a lot of still frame shots in the episode as well. So as far as art and animation goes, it wasn't on the level of anything. It wasn't on like a Sword Art Online or Sailor Moon or anything of that nature. The art and animation was just really just simplistic. As far as like, just the art and animation goes, it felt like very shonen simplistic, oh, it looks like, it's there. It's average art and animation. And for the most part, we just get in the beginning of the episode set up with Tatsumi. We're learning who he is. He seems to be the main character. And to be honest with you, if I had to make some comparisons to the feel that I got of this anime up until the ending anyway, it feels as though it was like the world of SAO, some of the world of Fairy Tail as well. Not the magic parts, but it just kind of has like the settings of like SAO or Fairy Tail with like, guilds and stuff like that. It felt like that meets somewhat of the situation with Naruto because of the main character Tatsumi and his 2 friends. But then take all of that and add some twisted, fucked up shit to it, and bam, you have Akame ga Kiru. Because I remember reading this in the manga and thinking, okay, so this is very simple. And to be honest with you, I'd imagine a lot of people were tricked. They probably were watching this and saying, this shit isn't nothing special. What's going on? Up until like the 15-minute mark where everything just gets tossed upside its head. You find out that bitch with the huge tits. And to be honest with you, I cannot remember her name, so I'm going to refer to her as Breast, like that's her name. Up until that particular point where, everything flips upside down, it just felt like, okay, we're in this world, and it seems like it reminds me of like SAO, or like, and specifically I'm referring to the Aincrad. It reminds me of like Aincrad and Sword Art Online. It reminds me of like that fairy tale type of vibe, and it also kind of gave me that vibe of Naruto. I honestly felt like, oh shit, we have like Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura, or Kakashi, Obito, and Rin, and the ending, by the way, I'll get to that in a bit, kind of reminded me of that as well, but it just gave you that vibe of things of that nature. But then at the 15-minute mark, it just like, it takes all of that and just fuck this shit, and I'm gonna make it dark, because what that rich little girl was doing and her family and all that shit was just fucked up. But then when the assassins break in and they chop her in half, I feel as though they definitely censored down, and I don't know if that's gonna be on the DVDs and on the Blu-rays as well, on the home releases or whatever, because when the mansion thing is open, that like garage shit that they had with all the bodies, definitely there was a lot of censorship done, because if I'm correct, the girl, one of Tatsumi's friends, the female, she was actually, if I'm correct, supposed to be cut in half, and a lot of these bodies were supposed to be dismembered and everything. They definitely censored a lot of it. They toned it down, which is unfortunate, but that was another thing that I noticed with this episode as well in comparison to the manga and anything. I think one of the major things they were trying to do was take Akame ga Kill, which is a pretty dark shonen, and lighten it up a bit to try to hit a more mainstream target with this one, because they know that the art and animation isn't anything special from, based on what they produced thus far. So maybe that's what they were going for, and that's why they censored it. The best parts of the episode was, again, from when the assassins break in, cutting that one chick in half, the mother. That was fucking awesome. But the best scene by far was when Tatsumi sees his friend inside of the cage and he just flips out and kills the bitch. I was like, fuck yeah. I don't know who's the director, because some of the scenes that were supposed to be like a little bit more impactful felt like it was just misdirected. Like when the girl was flipping out, for example, the girl from the mansion, the little girl, she's like, so what? I'll do whatever I want. It was kind of just like a still frame jiggling back and forth of her face. And while the voice actress nailed it, like the voice actors did their fucking job on this one, the way it was approached, it was kind of like they just wanted to do a smaller budget for this particular title. It's like just a still frame of her flipping out. It's like the voice actress is so perfect, but it's just a still frame jiggling everywhere. So that was another thing I noticed. Again, and that's due to the art and animation. But as far as like what was covered in this episode, definitely I liked how, you know, the story was done. You know, you get the little bit of build up, you get introduced, and it's kind of like, if anyone's seen Tokyo Ghoul for episode 1, it kind of tricks you into thinking, oh, so it's like, you know, it's a nice little area, you know, this guy, he has a dream, he wants to do things, and then, why is there assassins killing people left and right? Why has his friends been tortured to death? And it was a good thing as well that it didn't try to, oh no, his friend is going to survive. This is already making him lose people at the very beginning, so it's going to give him a little bit more of a motivation, a little bit more of a purpose. He lost the 2 main people that he started his journey with. And to be honest with you, that death scene reminded me of Kakashi Gaiden, when Kakashi's there with Obito on the floor. It's like, the only thing that was fucking missing was a boulder on him. Hopefully it doesn't come back on some, it's because you let her die. Overall, it gave you that surprise factor though. The assassin was crazy. I love the introduction to all of them. The characters so far is the strong point by far. You already got introduced to some interesting characters. You have the main character, Tatsumi. He seems like a funny klutz. He has a goal overall, so he seems like typical shonen. Then you have Breasts, which pretty much she just likes to fuck around, seemingly. You have some of these assassins. You have crazy people that like to torture people, so definitely getting introduced to some wacky and crazy characters, and it really just pushed things forward in this first episode. Like, as far as the content covered, they did a good job. Chapter 1 is a long chapter, and they covered a lot of good content. Overall, it was still a very good episode, but I guess my expectations were a lot greater because the art and animation wasn't up to the level that I had hoped for, and the censorship was pretty bad, and just overall some of the scenes I felt should have been a little bit more dramatic. I was a little bit unfortunately let down. So I feel as though the story-wise and the content was better than something like SAO, but the art and animation and some of the directions definitely was a letdown. So I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10. I felt like it was a very good episode, but it definitely didn't have some elements. And unfortunately, like, I had an expectations of a 10 out of 10. So coming into this episode 1, have smaller expectations than that, and maybe you won't be let down, because again, I was hoping for, like, you know, just a masterpiece, and unfortunately it was still a very good episode, and I really enjoyed it, and I felt like it covered really good content, and it just showed that this is going to be one hell of a fucking adventure. Great setup, I will say that. Great setup with some very interesting and awesome action, but just tone down your expectations for this one. But let me know what you think. If you've seen Akame Got Killed episode 1, what do you think of these assassins? I am really fucking excited to see what these assassins can do, because again, I've only seen like 1 or 2 chapters of the manga, so I'm looking forward to seeing what some of these characters. It seems like we're already introduced to a wide variety of people, and next episode and beyond is like, fuck yeah, we got some Akame Got Killed. Even though it's not perfect or anything, I'm still excited as fuck, and I'm still looking forward to each and every week. Hopefully, they kick it up a notch as far as the art and animation, but regardless of what, Akame Got Killed still kicking ass. 8 out of 10, very good first episode. Just wish it would have been a little bit better. And just your overall thoughts of this one so far. But that's all I have for this review. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, you can do so as well. That'd be awesome. I'm ForneverWorld. And as always, people, have an awesome day.